Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Higher and Beyond. This is the place for us to learn about personal development, growth, and self improvement. I'm so excited today because I have our guest speaker. I've known him for about 2 years back. We were in the one of the biggest community in the UK called Ecology. So, hi, Himanshu, welcome to our show today.
Hi, Yoni. Good to see you back. It's been a long time and since I last met you, and it has been great. I have been watching your podcast and everything. It's been great. Thank you for
Oh,
introducing me.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to have you here. But anyway, Himanshu, for all of you guys who's watching in this video, who doesn't know who is Himanshu is, I'm going to introduce you. Himanshu is an engineer turned certified NLP master practitioner and high performance coach. So he has successfully coached and trained hundreds of individuals in one-on-one and group session. He's currently working on building a community that fosters conscious programming, transforming chaotic and compulsive lifestyles into organized, mindful, and purpose driven ones by teaching the principle, tools, and strategies from NLP, life coaching, and mindfulness. Alongside, he is also working on his parallel project called as the exponential evolution. This is something that we're going to talk about today. At TEE, we focus, on working no on one small area of life that makes a huge difference over time. Well, anyway, it's an amazing for this topic about exponential evolution, and I'm so glad that you have a lot of project now that you're working on, Himanshu. Would you like to tell us about, I personally don't know what is actually the exponential evolution. Please tell
It is,
us.
yeah, it is very interesting topic for me, and like it is a kind of a passionate work for me because being in personal development industry from last, I think, alongside 6 7 years since we started ecology, and before that also I was into a lot of personal development. I found out, okay, when we talk about personal development a lot, we talk about, okay, reading psychology books, you should develop yourself psychologically, you should work upon your personality. That means your body language and how you communicate with each other, each and everything. But along the side, we somehow miss the minors. That means how a simple thing like waking up in the morning, and what is the very first thing you do in the morning? Let us suppose you make your bed, right? That is, if you do that very first thing in the morning, the second thing will be the consequent effect of that. Let us suppose if I'm making my bed in the morning, just after waking up, I would be doing some other thing that would be helping out alongside the entire day, right? So, by the way, this thing is called as keystone habit. One keystone habit is the result of, is the cause for other habits. And it is kind of a domino effect if we see it together. One habit is affecting another habit, and that habit is affecting another habit, and it is a kind of a domino effect throughout our entire day. And while I was going through all of these things, I found out that in our entire day, 80 to 85% of the things which we do, these are all habits. Only 10% of the things which we do, these are some new decisions we are making. Rest, each and everything is automated by your habits. So we are all hijacked by habits. I think there is a quote something in the line of, we are all the creatures of habit.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's all like what we do daily, it becomes a habit. And if we do it somewhere around 90 days or somewhere for a longer time, it becomes a lifestyle. And we can change it, but many people are not aware of it, but we can change it. And some small changes can lead to big changes. That is all about the exponential evolution. It's not about you know, having a quantum leap or something like that, but it is all about making some small changes into your life, whether it is habit or whether it is your focus you can work upon, whether it is your energy, how you can manipulate your energy. Many people do not know that energy can be manipulated. How we can work upon these things, and the base factor is your sleep that revolves around each and everything. It is the hidden part, which I found out while I was working with multiple trainers also during these days. I found out that this is something that most people ignore. In our, we have a lot of, in especially the corporate culture, people, those who are working hard, going to office, coming back, and they have a very sedentary lifestyle. And we do not focus on our sleep, which is the major area of life. If we focus on these things, then we exponentially evolve.
Ooh.
I think it was
Ex-
a bit long, but yeah, the
no, I
crux
mean,
was important to explain.
yes, this is perfect. I mean, it's something that called exponential. It doesn't have to be a big things to do, but start from the small habit that you just mentioned about. And I really agree with what the people do. 90% it's because of the habit, and 10% it's
Correct.
because something else, right? And then from the small habit, it can make big changes in here. Start
Correct.
from, for example, waking up early and things to do. But what I read on the book from, I don't know if you know the book called Atomic Habit, or the other one about what Wake
Yeah,
Up 5 a.m. by Robin Sharma. They talk
correct.
about 66 days to build building habit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a scientifically proven days framework. Somewhere around, it takes 30 minutes to get into that habit, and then another 30 to 33 days, somewhere around that, to automate that habit.
Mm,
And when you automate that habit, you have to protect that habit also, because there is a lot of noise coming in our daily lifestyle. People get distracted from these things, and their habit, they do not continue with it. So how to make it stick is the important part.
yeah. Interesting part, I can tell now you're building habit, a simple habit, especially, focus on the sleep and our focus also the energy that you talk about in the exponential evolution. And from the, as an engineer, you experience as engineering before and then move work on the personal development for, you know, such, yeah, quite long time working on the personal development, and then now you were also focused on the NLP, and as NLP master practitioner and high performance coach, have you built that habit from long ago, or have you started
It is.
that kind of
Yeah.
building?
So I still remember the things which I was working upon was time management.
Wow, I love this one. Yes.
So I'll tell you an instance. It is an interesting one. 4 years ago, it was in 2019 end. Sorry, 2020. I remember I had a college professor. I was meeting him regularly, and I had this journal with me alongside. I was doing time boxing. I think you would be aware of time boxing. It is a kind of a activity where you note down each and every 15 minutes of yours. It is attached with the Pomodoro technique also, how you can focus in the 25 minutes segments also. But time boxing, it is a simple technique to understand where your time is going in your entire day. So from the point I wake up till the point I have slept, I recorded each and every 15 minutes of mine. And I was trying to show this to my professor from college, and he's also doing his own business, and I used to take some sort of a mentorship from him. I was showing him that this is something which I'm doing. I'm recording each and every, 15 minutes of mine so that I can understand where my time is going along and I can control my time. Now, this professor said something to me that is sticking me from a long time. And I worked upon that. He said, Himanshu, why are you trying to control time? Why not think about it in a way how you can direct your time? How can you give direction to your time instead of controlling it? And that thought, it changed my mind. Okay, this is something we can do. And while I was doing a lot of studies that time about Bhagavad Gita, it is a scriptural text in our culture. So I found out, okay, the teachings of Krishna, Lord Krishna, that has been also a lot about directing your life. How instead you can focus not upon controlling your life, but you can give it a direction. And time management, many people think, okay, how can we control our time? How can we control our time? How can we take charge of our time? It's not about taking charge of our time. It's all about taking charge of the activities that you are doing in your life, right? Whether that activity is an action or whether that activity is an distraction. So you can just categorize all of the activities into two things. One is action or a distraction. Action is something that either monetizes or it matters, right? So if we are doing something in our day that either monetizes, oh, okay, either it
That's okay.
monetizes. Yeah, these emojis, they are just a part of my.
That's
Okay.
great.
Yeah. So what I was talking about, the actions are something which either can monetize or which either matters, like the small things, meeting with the family, enjoying some areas of life. Distractions are something which do not even monetize and they do not even matter. But multiple times we think that they matter a lot. Like just mindlessly scrolling on Instagram. We
Ooh,
think it
yeah.
matters, but it does
Hmm.
not matter, and neither it monetizes.
Yep. Hmm.
Right?
And
We
then,
think that fighting with someone matters. It's not.
wow. Sometimes we think that something else is matter, but it is not. And then also, talking about scrolling on the social media, Instagram or TikTok, we think this is gonna be matter, and then all of a sudden time goes by.
Hmm.
We try to scroll the TikTok for only 10 minutes and become 2 hour, and then time goes by without even doing anything. That's something funny, I mean, I can
And
tell
this is
that.
something everyone does. Like whether you can be rich, you can be a billionaire, but you can be still doing it.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. What about the Pomodoro technique that you just
Oh,
mentioned about?
so Pomodoro, I was applying it earlier. So we distribute every time block into 25 minutes each. Right, so an hour can have like two pomodoros, so 25 minutes we work continuously. Why? Because this has been proven by a professor. I think he was working upon the focus area or the attention, how the attention graph of a person, human being goes. So after 25 minutes, something, you're if you're working continuously, that attention graph goes down. That time you cannot pay attention continuously. Of course, a person who is yogi or someone, they can have a longer span, but for a normal person, this is something which they found out, that you can work upon 25 minutes and then you take a short break. That break should be kind of a reward for yourself, so that you can that can help you as a reward also and as a cue for working the next 25 minutes. So that is how we work in 25-minute chunks, and we can work together like separate 4 hours duration. There can be 8 pomodoros. So we work together for 8 pomodoros. and we take break in between, and that break we kind of refresh ourselves or reboot ourselves, then we work for another Pomodoro. So that is how we work smartly. Whether it is any programming work you do, whether it is your sales work, whether it is anything you do, we can work along in that way. But it is very subjective because multiple people have, if we are doing a webinar or a recording like this, so we can have a longer duration, but it is just for creating a structure into your life.
Mm. So the main point of Pomodoro you're using is to structure your life and how to connect in the time
Yeah.
management. Is that?
Yeah. So it's giving it a structure also, also not getting frustrated or not get bored from the same things because multiple times we have, the same task which we do, right? So to sit down continuously, it is a, difficult stuff for people. But now, let us suppose if we are doing this, we are taking a break in between 5 minutes, we just hang around, we just, had a coffee in between or something like that. So it refreshes us and also it works as a reward for us to work again.
Mm, right. Going back to the exponential evolution, as you're the founder of this business. You're working on your business now, right? So what is your focus? Building this business. What are you trying to do to help
So
other people
currently,
out there? Yeah.
currently what my plan is like it is still not that kind of a big business, I would say. I'm working slowly in this because I want to evolve this business also exponentially. Uh, and yeah, the
You
main
will.
yeah, because the main idea behind this is not to have a quantum leap. The main idea behind this is to have a slow growth in some
Hmm.
areas. And secondly, I started working more with coaches and trainers instead of just a normal, any corporate person. Why? Because while I was going through my personal development industry, I found out multiple things that we coaches, we trainers, we are focusing more on the business part, right? How to build funnels, how to market ads, and all of these things, right? These are our main focus areas. These are, of course, the
Yeah.
majors of the business, right? But
Indeed. Yeah.
something, yeah, something which I learned earlier when I was doing my train the trainer training by Blair Singer, he always says that there is nothing called as a business problem.
Hmm. Yeah.
All of the problems are human problems only, personal problems. There is something we can change in ourselves that will affect our business always, right? Of course there is a technical part of the business, but there is also a human part of the business. And while working with these things, I found out that okay, a business is made up from people, and if we as people we are not growing into we are not changing the minors, how our majors can change, right? We can work a lot upon technical parts of business, that is of course it will go hand in hand, but alongside if we work upon our habits, our energy, our focus, our sleep, right, then we will be also growing exponentially. And it is kind of okay, if you're focusing on evolving exponentially the business also, then it will be going hand on hand. If your focus is to get rich quick, that is the
Hmm.
uh, agenda behind the industry, then of course it will not work. The same concept will not work for the people or the coaches or the trainers, those who are a part of get rich quick scheme. So
This is
currently my
interesting.
focus is
Yeah.
only on coaches and trainers.
Right, right. So the focus on this exponential evolution is trainer and coach.
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean, something interesting that you just mentioned also about business is not a problem. All the problem is personal problem. And then when
Yeah.
somebody, yeah, when somebody, think about having business is want to become rich, it's not going to work, because this is also my experience. Because I
Hmm.
was thinking about, I'm I want to get rich. I want to be rich. And then this is actually ruin everything in the business, and the business is become like fall down very quickly.
Hmm.
That's the opposite actually. I want to be rich quick, but all of a sudden your business is fall really quick because the mindset is talking I want to be rich, because that's all the problem in the human being in a personal, right? I'm talking about
Hmm.
personal problem here. um what is the advice that you would like to give to people who want to start a business? It's
It's
like,
very simple. Like start with the end in mind. I think that is the main thing which I believe in. Start with the end in mind. What do you want to achieve with that business? Achieve not in the sense of course, the money part will be also there.
yeah,
Because I can say it's not good to ignore money also, because money is the scorecard in your business. You cannot measure your business if you do not measure the money. So it's always to be conscious about it, but again, you have to be thinking in a way that what am I achieving? And for me, the agenda of the business is to serve people, right? Is how can you introduce something in another person's life and that person's life changes in a certain way, and that person is thankful for changing that life, and he gives something into the return. Might be it would be acting as a fruitful partnership in future. Might be it would be a transactional value, just like money, or might be something else, right? So it's not again business in Hindi. We say it as karobar. It simply means transaction,
mm,
right? So transaction can be done into any way, right? It can be service to service, it can be service to money, it can be product to money, it can be product to money, anything. But for me, it is like what are you changing in another person's life, and you're getting something in return. It might be in form of money, it might be in form of whether you're doing a partnership, right? So that is for me, the advice is pretty simple. Decide with the end goal in mind. What are you trying to achieve with that business? Money is a part of the equation, of course. You will get it.
right, yeah. It's start from the mind.
Yeah. From the end in mind.
Okay, yeah,
So,
from the
so when
end
we
in
do,
the mind.
why I talk about this a lot, because I have been an engineer earlier. So while we were in our like final year, we were designing some projects, and I was working upon my own startup idea that was a smart helmet. So then what happened, while designing this, we had a workshop. They always talked about, okay, what are you trying to achieve with this product? What are you trying to achieve with this? Right? What is the end goal? Who is the consumer? What is the change that this product is bringing in that consumer's life? So that is more important. If you think about in a way, then you will reverse engineer your entire business. You will reverse engineer each and everything. Okay, this is the problem. This is what we are trying to solve here. Now we have to break down that problem into first principles, and this is a very good way of thinking. It is called as first principles thinking. We go to the truth. The purpose is just going to the truth of the problem. How can we break down into fundamentals and then reverse engineering each and everything from those first principles?
Right. Hmm. This is this called as a plan? We have to break
You can
down.
call, yeah, you can
Yeah.
call it as a plan, but it is kind of a strategy where you break down the problem. Because
Right.
otherwise, see, in NLP, I think you must be knowing there is a presuppose 10 presuppositions, and there
Yes.
are more
Hmm.
presuppositions also. But to shorten it down, There is something when we have one to a story called as how can you eat an elephant?
Mm, yeah.
So we
So,
always break down the problem into smaller chunks.
right. So this is a strategy for if you want to also start the business too. We have to break down step by step, little by little, before we go into what is actually we can help others, how, and things like, is this gonna change the people or customers or whoever people we can help them.
Correct. But I think it can be very subjective. It is my way of thinking about how the business goes. Because at the end, see, you can put the business at the front, you can put the people on the front. It's about what you're putting at the front, right? If you're putting, let us suppose, your customers or your mentees or your coaches at the front, then you'll be focusing about how can I solve that problem rather than how can I build more money. And why I am talking about this, I have been into a salesperson shoes a lot, and I used to deal 100 people in a day minimum. And while I was talking with each and every person in my earlier life, it was kind of a, okay. If I'm talking to a person, I must be bringing money out of that person's pocket, and this is something I'm very openly sharing on this platform. My intention
Yeah.
was to just, yeah, I was thinking about, okay, this person is, you know uh, I can take out 50,000 rupees from his pocket. This person I can take out, 1 lakh rupees from his pocket. That was my way of thinking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So every face came with a tag that I used to analyze people. Okay, this is a person which I can take this much amount of money. This is a person I can take this much amount of money, and it was kind of objectifying people. There is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing right with that. It's just the way how we function as a salesperson, as an amateur salesperson. But when we deal with more and more people, we learn this also that okay, now it has become easy for me. Right. When you deal with more and more people, you do more and more sales, it becomes a lot of easy thing for you. Then you go to the next level. Okay, now I have learned the art of taking out the money from someone else's pocket. And that is the idea behind business also. That is a skill
Hmm.
which every business person should have. But then what? Is it the only thing that I can do? No. But then we think deeper. Okay, if I am taking out money from someone's pocket, what am I giving it to them? And it comes either as a form of product or as a form of service. When we think in that way, that okay, what am I giving back to that person? I think we lost. Okay, so
Yeah.
now when we think in that way, that okay, what am I giving back to that person when I'm taking money out of them? Then we will be thinking, okay, either in a form of product or in a form of service. Then thinking in that way also is a very materialistic thinking, right? We just have given the product to any person or a service to any person. Now we'll be thinking, the next step is to think how that product or service is changing that person's life. See, if it is not changing that person's life, it is just like something that he has just purchased just for either showing to other people or just for his gratification purpose, or just that he was confused enough that I was able to sell him. And confused people are the most easiest to sell, because if a person is conscious about things, it is very hard to sell them, right? If a person is confused, you can manipulate them to sell anything. You can use all of these
Mm,
NLP and all of these things to sell him. But
mm,
the bigger part is if the person's life is getting changed or not, right? And I have been into educational selling a lot, selling educational products and services. So for me, it was okay, is this person's life changing in terms of knowledge, in terms of his personal development? How is that person changing? If I think that there's a chance of changing that person, then I will be approaching that person. Now the entire equation changes. Instead of selling to everyone, you will be very specific of choosing your clients.
Right.
You will not be targeting everyone. You will be targeting
Mm,
only those people whom you can bring some change in their life instead of targeting everyone that, okay, I do not care about if the person changes or not, something comes in his life or not. The main idea is if I am getting involved in his life, how I am becoming a piece of initiation or a piece of change in his person's life. That is the main idea, and that expands into everything we do in our business, alongside all the operational side of business, along all the financial side of business, how we manage each and everything, how we expand our team. Each and everything has come with an idea of, okay, how can we serve more and more? When we understand that this is the right kind of a person, now we understand that, okay, how can we expand our radius? We have been serving these amount of people. How can we expand our radius? Now we expand to multiple cities, countries, and online is a very good platform where we can expand to different places.
mm. It sounds like we have to know what we bring on the table to serve
Correct.
others.
Very important. Because
Mm,
otherwise, like, we will be kind of a, I don't know if you would have known network marketing people or someone where we join two people down and those two people join two people down. So it's kind of, it is amazing journey, but at the end, if you're selling air, it does not mean anything, right? So you have
yeah.
to come some with something, and it should be
Mm,
something. I can say it can be your own creation, or uh, if it is not your own creation, also then also how are you doing things differently than others?
mm.
But again, all of these things comes as a part of your principles, and we are the person who should decide our principles, not anyone else for the business.
Interesting one about that. Talking about creation, how as a person we can make ourselves creative. What kind of thing
Hmm.
we can do?
I think creativity comes from space,
Okay.
not the ethereal space. Of course, that is also in bigger terms. If we talk about creativity, comes from ethereal space also. But what I was talking about is to get proper time, give proper time to yourself. What I do see in current lifestyle, we do not give more time to ourselves. If we simply leave ourselves to our own self, not anyone else, if we do not expose ourselves to social media, TV, or any other thing, of course you can get ideas from there.
Hmm.
But the most important thing is, if you leave yourself to your own self, you'll be figuring out ways to think, and
Right.
thinking is the starting of each and everything. How can you think in a particular way? How can I do this thing differently, right? That is all about creativity, right? I have been doing this a lot because I come from a background, apart from my coaching and everything, I like sketching, I like poetry, I like all of these things. So this is where I become more and more creative, and there is no structure in there. It's all about the art which you can create.
Right. So I love the idea about the creativity. It comes from the space. Of course, we can get the idea from the social media or any kind of um, example out there. But the best thing to be creative is taking space for yourself, and then
Correct.
you can find the idea from that.
Correct.
Nice. But do you
I
think?
would like to expand this in a way. Uh,
Mhm.
I met a lot of my brotherhood people in my Freeman brotherhood. They all have a same question. Himanshu, how can I find out my purpose? This is a bigger question
Oh,
in industry. You
yes.
might be, this is the biggest question. Many people, okay, I have done this, I have done this, then, but Himanshu, what is my life's purpose? Your life's purpose is to find your life's purpose if you do not know your life's purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
S- uh, And second thing is how you can find out that life's purpose. I say to them, just leave everything and might be plan a solo trip, go to a mountain, go to somewhere like 6 7 days. Do not expose yourself to anything. Question and leave yourself empty. You will find each and everything. Now you will be figuring out each and everything. This has been, I have been doing this thing from past my life, from these many years. I have been good at this. This is something which I can use to help others. These are my skill sets, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. How can I be helpful? Right. And then you will be questioning along the line, is this something that I am getting a signal from the universe or the God or somewhat which you call it as a higher entity? This is what I'm getting, right? And I can be helpful to this universe in this particular way. Now, this is how you find your purpose. It's like we can do all of the ikigai work and all of that stuff, figuring out what is our vocation, profession, and a rest of passion and all of these things. But I think it's more important to leave yourself empty, and that
Hmm.
is how you find. And we do not do that.
Wow. Interesting about how can I find my life purpose? And the
Hmm.
idea is to find your life purpose is find your life purpose,
Oh, yeah.
right?
So your life's purpose is to just find your life's purpose,
Right.
and you can say it as a snake biting its own tail, but
Mhm.
then again, that is the thing. Like, okay, you have to find your life's purpose at first, because then everything in your life will be making sense.
Exactly. I love this one. So sometimes, people question what is my life purpose is. And then instead of I don't know,
Hmm.
it make that people go away from looking and finding the life purpose because they don't
Hmm.
even know what is life purpose is, what
Correct.
how they can find, and then it goes away and then still questioning what is my life purpose instead of, I can tell this is, find your life purpose in, learning how to make your how to grow yourself, make better
Hmm.
version of yourself. If I take this as a, you know conclusion here.
Yeah, that would be your life purpose, I suppose. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very subjective thing. Like, it depends on
Right.
person to person. Some
Okay.
person, for me, it would be like, okay, I have to be a teacher and a leader and a traveler. That is my life's
Right.
purpose. And
Hmm.
now each and everything, how it is connecting to that.
Wow. Whew. It's a amazing discussion though. um we use the also NLP in here. We talk about, the presupposition and
Hmm.
what else in NLP, and then it's so good to learn about NLP. Yeah.
Yeah, so we discuss about NLP presuppositions, we discuss about habits, we discuss about time management, Pomodoro technique, we discuss about life's purpose. I think this is what we discuss about, four things till now.
Yes. Now, what is one advice or one message that you would like to share to the world, through this video, for all of the people who's watching this video? If people want to evolve
Hmm.
exponentially for their life.
So it is very simple, and it is my own life's message. In one or the other form, I try to communicate into everything which I do. And this message is simple: keep moving forward.
Keep moving
It's just three words. It's easy to remember. It's easy. It's not an advice or something. but it is something, if you leave yourself also, you will be keeping moving forward, right? It's not, even if you have done something, it does not work, just keep moving forward. Don't be emotional about it. A lot of times we get a lot of emotional baggage. Okay, I have worked so hard for something, it does not work, right? Just keep moving forward, right? Find out what did not work, what worked, and keep moving forward. That is my message, which I tell in whatever I do.
Okay. Find what is not working and then keep moving forward.
Correct. That is the only way. See, if you just get stuck in your mind, nothing happens in mind. Everything happens in physical world, right? Of course, you can create all of the ideas. You can be very mindful about each and everything, especially when we are going through a personal development a lot, when we are
Mhm.
dealing with this industry in coaching and training and everything. We think that we can achieve everything by the mind, but you can, in your mind, you can achieve everything, but it will not manifest. Right? So to
Right.
manifest it in reality, you'll have to act. And when you will be moving forward with something which you have already worked upon, then only you will be manifesting in that life.
Right. Keep moving forward and think positive because that is,
Yeah,
the
that is.
thing.
I think you can think negative also. There is a lot of
Yeah.
ideas and taboos attached with thinking negative. Why it is important? Because I think thinking is neither positive or negative. It's just helpful or unhelpful.
Mhm.
Negative thinking can also be helpful, and
Right.
this is something people do not know. You have to be very stoic about things. And if someone who is not who is listening this, like they never heard about stoicism, it is very good thing. If you are in your youth, you must practice stoicism. This is how you can see your thoughts without labels that these are positive or negative. You will just see thoughts as thoughts, and if this thought is helping you in some or the other way, or it is not helping, and then you will have a conscious control whether to ignore that thought, or whether to take up with that thought. And that is very much important. Like, it's I think it will be more helpful and unhelpful thinking.
Yeah. Thank you, Himanshu, for your insight for all of us who's watching this video. And um, one advice and one message that you share to the world is, keep moving forward. It's okay to
Correct.
have think negative and positive, but I think the key is also here is how aware you are in controlling this emotion.
Correct. And that is where all of your coaching and everything comes.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Um, Thank you very much for your insight, Himanshu. I hope this is gonna bring a value for all of the people who's watching our video, our show today. And the advice is, hopefully we can find all of the people who's watching can find what is work for them and what is not for them too. So thank you very much, Himanshu, for your time. I hope to see you again soon. And for all of you, everyone who's watching, thank you very much. And bye bye.
Bye bye.